your cell phones. And gentlemen, please remove your hats as we pay tribute to our nation with the singing of the national anthem. It is my pleasure to introduce Whitmore Lake High School senior, Kylie Seacrest, to sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly slain. And the rockets round the boats were singing gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled
Thank you, Kylie. That was beautiful. You may be seated. Good afternoon. Welcome to Whitmore Lake High School for the 2026 commencement ceremony. I am Whitmore Lake High School Principal Jill Henry. It is my sincere honor to be here and lead a ceremony that recognizes the efforts and achievements of the class of 2026. Joining me on the stage today are members of the Whitmore Lake Public Schools Board of Education. As I introduce each board member, please give them a traditional Trojan 2 clap. Seniors, help us get it going. President, Shelley Kritzman. Vice President, Lindsay Collins. Treasurer, Frank Zielinski. Secretary, Lisa McCulley. And trustees, Lee Cole, Kelly Henning, and John Meadows. Also joining me on stage are Superintendent Tommy Kaiser and class of 2026 sponsors, Taryn Seacrest and Carol Spilak. Well done. Mrs. Seacrest and Mrs. Spilak are just two of the teachers, many of whom are here today, who poured their time and talent into the class of 2026. Please take a moment to recognize the incredible work of our dedicated teachers and staff with a well-deserved round of applause. To the families and loved ones of the graduates, thank you for partnering with us throughout these years. It's been our privilege to watch these students learn and grow at school, but you have been there for every step of the journey. Your support, guidance, and love has made this moment possible. Seniors, please take a moment to recognize the people who helped get you here with a round of applause. Every year, sometime around the beginning of May, my TikTok For You page decides that what I really need to see at the end of a long day of working at school are clips of commencement speeches from colleges and universities across the country. This year was no different. I watched former President Bill Clinton speak at the University of Arkansas reflecting on a life well lived as the oldest man in most rooms. I watched Oprah Winfrey tell graduates at Morehouse College to become, quote, so flat out fantastic at what you do that your talent cannot be dismissed. And then I saw a speech by Henry Winkler, an actor I remember as Arthur Fonzarelli, or the Fonz, from Happy Days. And the fact that I just made a Happy Days reference in this speech helps me better understand. Just we like to keep it exciting. The fact that I made it, it's a really good joke, and I feel like now it's all messed up. Do we have a solution, or it's luck? Okay, great. There's a joke in there about being the oldest person in the room, but the moment's over. So, the Fonz shared 2 words that he said have guided his life: tenacity and gratitude. And throughout the spring, I could not get those words out of my head. Probably because when I think about the students sitting before me, I see both. I see test. Try again. Okay. I see tenacity in the students who face challenges, setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles, and kept showing up anyway. I see it in the students who worked jobs, balanced activities, cared for family members, advocated for themselves, recovered from mistakes, and kept moving forward even when the path wasn't easy. And I see gratitude in the way that this class has embraced the people around them, in the friendships that you built, and the relationships you formed with teachers, coaches, sponsors, and family members, and in the way you've supported one another and celebrated each other's successes. Neither tenacity nor gratitude is particularly impressive on its own. Tenacity without gratitude can leave you constantly chasing the next thing without appreciating what you already have. Gratitude without tenacity can leave you appreciating opportunities you never fully pursue. But together, they create something powerful. Tenacity helps you build a life, and gratitude helps you enjoy it. As you leave Whitmore Lake High School for the last time, I hope you take both tenacity and gratitude with you. This afternoon, our graduates were led into the gymnasium by our senior scholars. The Senior Scholar Honor serves as our highest distinction for graduating seniors. Senior scholars, please stand and be recognized. Additionally, graduates of distinction wear cords signifying their academic success. Students graduating cum laude honors are wearing bronze cords. Please stand and be recognized. You can be seated. Students graduating with magna cum laude honors are wearing silver cords. Please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. Students graduating with summa cum laude honors are wearing gold cords. Please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. Students who have volunteered for a minimum of 60 hours in and around our community have earned white cords for community service. Please stand and be recognized. Students honored by Kiwanis International Key Club and the Red Cross have earned blue and/or red cords. Please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. Students who have served as members members of the National Honor Society are wearing a golden stole and NHS insignia patch. Please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. Students who earned a scholarship from the more than $45,000 in scholarship money awarded by the Whitmore Lake Community Scholarship Fund and other school and community groups are wearing green cords. Please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. If you are an international student from Germany or Brazil participating in today's ceremony after an educational exchange year at Whitmore Lake High School, please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. If you are a member of the First Robotics Michigan State Championship team, please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. If you are a student athlete who is competing at the collegiate level next year, please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. And finally, if you are a student athlete who competed as part of the MHSAA Lower Peninsula Division IV Girls Cross Country State Championship in 2024, 2025, and, I'm lying, 2023, 2024, and 2025, please stand and be recognized. You may be seated. Please give our accomplished graduates another round of applause. Four senior scholars will be featured during this afternoon's ceremony. I have asked staff members who share a close connection with each senior scholar to introduce them to you. With that, it is my pleasure to bring English and Theater Arts teacher Carol Spilak to the podium to introduce our first speaker.
There are certain people we meet in life and immediately know they are destined for great things. That is how I felt the first time I met senior scholar Elodie Weaver in the 8th grade. Elodie has always had a tenacity about her, an energy which directs others to sit up and pay attention. She's never scared to speak her mind, but somehow always finds a way to do so in a mindful and considerate manner. She is truly a force to be reckoned with, both inside and outside of the classroom. I had the pleasure of teaching Elodie's 8th and 10th grade English classes. Her eloquence of words and detail-oriented approach to schoolwork is unparalleled. However, her excellence in the classroom is just the beginning. As one of the class of 2026 sponsors, I've had the privilege of working with Elodie as class president for all 4 years of high school, as well as a front row seat to her leadership in student council and athletics. Whether it was float building, prom planning, leading an assembly, competing in track or cross country, cheerleading, or making decisions for the student body as a whole, Elodie always shows up. She shows up for her peers, her teachers, and our school community as a whole. Her care and concern for making this school a better place for everyone has truly been awe-inspiring to watch. Elodie, it has been such an honor to see you grow into the young woman that you are today. You have accomplished so much in your time here, and I have no doubt that you will continue to do so as you move through life. To close, I hope you know that, even more than your accomplishments, you are generous, kind, compassionate, and a deeply caring individual. Those are the attributes that will lead you to the truly fulfilling life that I know lies ahead of you. We are all lucky to know you, and I hope you know how much you will be missed. And now it is my privilege to introduce senior scholar Elodie Weaver.
Okay, is it working? Perfect. I want to thank you all for being here today. Congratulations, fellow students, on your achievements. And thank you, parents, friends, families, and staff for your support throughout this process. I know it's been a crazy year, especially these last few weeks as we finalize plans and prepare to move forward to the next stage in our lives. And it's so exciting and surreal to be standing here in front of you today, about to complete the final step. When I started considering giving a graduation, is it on? Is it gonna work? Okay, perfect. When I started considering giving a graduation speech, I wasn't exactly sure when I started considering giving a graduation speech, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to say. So I began thinking back to some of my favorite memories throughout all of the years. Like when we won homecoming float building our freshman year and then went on to do so our sophomore, junior, and senior years. Or when we snuck out of Miss Messina's class one by one to see how long it would take her to notice we were missing. Sorry, Miss Messina. But my most recent favorite memory was when we all snuck into Ms. DeKaiser's house on the last day of school, which I am sure you can imagine was quite the surprise for them to walk downstairs and find the whole senior class in their living room at 5 a.m. While these memories are fun to look back on, they aren't what I'll miss most about Whitmore Lake. I recognize that the most special part of our school isn't the school itself or really any of the things we do here, but the community and the people who pour into us daily. That's what I'll miss most about Whitmore Lake. I'll miss walking into the building and having Miss Henry say good morning to each student by name every single day. I'll miss showing up to a cross-country meet and no matter the weather or how far a drive it was, seeing the Collins and Meadows families ready to cheer us on. I'll miss Mrs. Brunty and Mrs. Root asking about my day and how I'm feeling about college, not out of obligation, but because they truly care about me and each other student. On that note, I want to take a second to appreciate someone who's had an impact on the lives of probably every single senior in the room. I mentioned that one of my favorite memories was going undefeated in homecoming float building, which was largely due in part to one of our sponsors, Mrs. Spilak. For those of you who don't know, Mrs. Spilak was a student here herself, and her class won the float building competition all 4 years of high school. So when we started planning our float freshman year, we realized that she had way more experience than most of us, and we kind of hit the jackpot. But it isn't Ms. Spilak's float building skills that make her so special. It's the fact that she's probably one of the kindest, most caring individuals you'll ever meet. She has shown true dedication to our class and genuinely cares about each and every one of us. She wants to hear our ideas and opinions and is so supportive of every goal we set, contributing to our success these past 4 years. I know we're here to celebrate the graduates today, but we wouldn't have made it if it weren't for people like Mrs. Spilak surrounding us. I don't think we could ever thank you enough, but you truly have meant the world to me. Sorry. I remember when I was in middle school, attending an NHS induction and hearing an older student give a speech. She told everyone to raise their hands in the air as high as they possibly could. So go ahead, everybody raise your hand as high as you can possibly reach. Okay, now everybody reach a little bit higher. Okay, you can put your hands down. Notice how everyone's hands went up a little bit higher, even though I said to raise them as high as you could the first time. This just demonstrates that we are capable of more than we think, and I believe that the parents, friends, families, teachers, coaches, staff, and every other community member here today surrounding us is what has allowed the class of 2026 to reach that little bit higher, push a little bit further, and achieve more than originally thought capable of. I believe that it's because of you that we are standing here today, having achieved so much along the road. With that, I would like to leave you with these final words. The people you surround yourself with matter and shape who you become. They are the ones you can rely on to show up and provide encouragement at all times. So as you move forward in life, whether that may be entering the workforce, attending college down the road, joining the military, or even moving across the country, recognize the importance of your community and choose to surround, I'm so sorry, and choose to surround yourself with people who feel like home. Thank you.
Thank you, Elodie and Mrs. Vilek, thank you. I feel like lots of times, weirdly, you might think I'm like the first to know what's going on around here, but often I'm the last to know. So I kind of loved my secret knowledge that I had asked Mrs. Vilek to introduce Elodie, and then without knowing, Elodie had shared a draft of her speech with me to review, and she, in turn, had a whole section on Mrs. Vilek, and so good job. Do we need tissues out there? You good, Elodie? Everyone's good, okay. Next, I'd like to ask our custodial staff to dim the lights for our second, with the lights, go the sound, okay. For our second senior scholar introduction. Social studies teacher Anna Rickard is out of town this weekend for a family commitment, but she did not want to miss the chance to address the class of 2026 or to introduce Jacob. So if you'll turn your attention to the screen behind me.
Hello, class of 2026. It is breaking my heart not to be there with you today. Teaching you in 7th grade social studies, 9th grade world history, 10th grade U.S. history, 11th grade government and economics, and watch you grow into the people that you are today is something I will truly always cherish. I thought about making a joke about being your college professor next year, but with the pattern we've already established, I'm afraid you might believe me. Please know, there are not enough words to express the special place that you will hold in my heart. Some words you frequently hear me say are, where'd Jacob go? It began there in the classroom, where he excelled academically, and his curiosity pushed him to connect classroom concepts to the outside world. Then, he'd make his way to the teacher's lounge, where as student council president, he choreographed the student council's portion of the lit desk. Involved in numerous and varied activities, he then stopped by Mr. McCormick, Ms. Henry's, or Ms. Wilson's desk to clarify his understanding of a task or just to check in with them. Jacob was determined to meet everyone in the building, from employees in the cafeteria to board members at monthly meetings. Jacob seeks to learn from the expertise of others. If you've gone to a drama club production in the last 4 years, you know firsthand the performances Jacob delivered. Taking the observations he made of all those around him, he crafted characters that delighted audiences. There are many steps that have led Jacob to graduation today. I am so thankful to have been a witness to his journey. So the next time I ask, where'd Jacob go? I know that it will be somewhere making the world a better place for all. And so, please now welcome Jacob Bissonette to the stage. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. I have it actually in my pocket.
Oh,
Ooh.
you want the packet version?
The pocket? Well,
Is it on your phone?
no, hold on. Wonderful. Thank you, though. Well, that was wonderful. Can you give Miss Rickard a wonderful applause for her? Yeah. All right. So, the other night, I found myself wrestling with a simple question. What makes us unique? What separates a Whitmore Lake Trojan? Yeah, you know what? I'd love that actually. Cool. Hear me? Yeah? Abigail, you hear me there? Cool. All right. What separates a Whitmore Lake Trojan from a Brighton Bulldog, a Pinckney Pirate, a Howell Highlander? Over the last couple of years, I've had the privilege of taking classes at Brighton and WCC. And through that, I've met a lot of students from a variety of huge public schools. And while students are students, there is a real difference between a kid from a class of 500 and a class of 50 like us. Large schools give students the opportunity to pick one activity and master it by senior year. Along the way, forming cliques with peers who do the same thing. But Whitmore's humble size gave us something different. It gave us the freedom to try everything and made it virtually impossible not to know everyone's names, students and teachers, whether you like to or not. This makes Whitmore students unique. We're well-rounded, equipped with the knowledge of many fields and the understanding of many people. We're jacks of all trades because, unlike at any big school, you don't have to choose what you want to be good at. You get the chance to try everything. At Whitmore Lake, people rarely fall under the single label. The band kid does auxiliary. The jock is a scholar. The student government is athletic. The shy kid brings people together. Whether it's a formidable basketball player who starred in a commercial, or a standout performer who doubles as a first-generation college student, or a cancer survivor who's a multi-sport athlete, you will meet very diverse people from a class of 50. Compare all of this to a kid from a huge school who's really good at football. Sure, I mean, he might make it to the Big Ten, but he had to choose football and probably only football. At the same time, in high school, I really doubt that he was a state wrestler, learning a trade, or maintaining a high honor roll GPA. These stories remind us that Whitmore Lakers are multi-dimensional. But Whitmore's size means that we're all sharing the same class, even though we have different interests, different strengths, and different goals. I mean, we have swimmers, runners, wrestlers, sports journalists, child life specialists, psychologists, mechanics, art historians, veterinarians, actors, football players, firefighters, heavy equipment operators, graphic designers, teachers, authors, engineers, business managers, and nurses. And all of this diversity is crammed into the same classroom. And that creates an understanding of one another and of the world. This pushes us to form relationships with people we never would have met otherwise. Cool.
That'll be good. You got it?
You sure can. So as I was saying, this diversity. This diversity pushes us to form relationships with people we never would have met otherwise. Only in Whitmore Lake do a psychologist and a mechanic become best friends. Only in Whitmore Lake, well, I mean, I consider myself a bit of a nerd, but I've had the privilege of wrestling with the third strongest high schooler in the nation. during theater practice. Whitmore didn't just educate us, it shaped us. It forced us together and taught us to understand each other's experiences. And gave us a broader perspective of the world. You know more and can do more across more fields because that's how Whitmore raised you. Wherever you're going, working, trade school, community college, or university, you're not just another kid from a big school. You're a Whitmore Laker. And I promise that you'll be one of the most well-rounded people in any room you walk in. You've already learned how to connect with people who are different from you. When you meet new people, you'll find common ground. Being a Trojan is special because you're not just aware that people come from different walks of life. You've lived alongside of them every single day. Remember that. It's part of what makes you remarkable, and it's something you can hold on to forever. Keep smiling, and go Trojans.
After our graduation rehearsal, we invite our senior scholars to stay to rehearse. So Mrs. DeKaiser and I had a preview of Jacob's speech, and we debated whether we should ask him to maybe rein it in a little. And then what we ultimately decided, and what some of you might not know, is that actually was Jacob reining it in a little. So just let it ride. Thank you, Jacob. Well done. I'd like to invite senior members of the varsity band to join their fellow band members for a special final performance. This afternoon, the band will perform Grand Gala. As the seniors make their way over to their seats, I would like to thank Mrs. Elisa Fixler and our combined JV and varsity band for being here this afternoon to perform. Okay, well done. Thank you again to the JV and varsity band, seniors and Mrs. Fixler for that performance, and all of the music throughout today's ceremony. At this time, I'll ask that our lights are dimmed once again, and that you direct your attention to the area behind the stage as our Director of Technology, Karen Sturzik, cues up the time-honored tradition of the graduation slideshow. thank you to our Director of Technology, Karen Sturzik, for her work on that slideshow. Thanks for being such adorable babies. That was like a lot of aggressive cake eating that I was noticing in those pictures. Since becoming the Whitmore Lake Middle and High School principal in the fall of 2020, I have used this moment each year to reflect on the years that Superintendent DeKaiser and I have each spent serving as principal to the graduating class. However, the class of 2026, with its record number of senior scholars, middle school through graduation day, the class of 2026, I have been the principal for your entire career in this building. So thank you for your trust, your resilience, your sense of humor, and allowing me a front row seat to 6 years of growth, learning, and memories that I will carry with me long after today. And perhaps most importantly, thank you for directing your senior brain towards our beloved superintendent instead of me. At this time, please welcome to the podium the superintendent of the Whitmore Lake Public Schools, Mr. Tom DeKaiser.
I was going to start with an imitation of Jacob Bissonette. I've had the privilege of watching him do so many board meeting presentations. I'm glad I didn't, though, because I could never have captured the energy that you put forth. So thank you all for attending today. A special shout out to our teachers and support staff who are here from preschool to 12th grade. Many of you have inspired these young men and women in front of us today. They would not be here without your dedication and compassion. On behalf of the Board of Education, the entire community of Whitmore Lake, I want to thank you. Speaking of dedication and compassion, I'd like to give a special shout out to Board Trustees Lisa McCulley and Lee Cole. Both are finishing up terms of 12 years and 10 years, respectively. Both of these kids first leaders who love serving the young people of Whitmore Lake are here today. I want to thank both of them for their service, making sure that this graduating class, as well as others before them, are prepared for the challenges life will bring and the celebration of successes that they will most certainly achieve. Can we give a little special round of applause for Lisa? I asked Lisa yesterday, how long have you been on the board? She said, how long have you been a superintendent? So we each, she came on board when I came on board. So, let's not stop the praise here. Let's go right to Jill Henry, your principal. She mentioned she's had you for 6 full years. There's been 3 principals in the last quarter century of Whitmore Lake High School. I'd say right now she is the best, but that's based on my opinion. I want to tell you that I think very seriously what I admire about Jill is she never stops trying to find the good in students. There's a lot of bad things that can be said. There's a lot of hate out in the world, and it's easy to spread, and it's an easy thing to get caught up in it. And I always admired how hard she works to always find the good. Can we give Jill a little round of applause? What the heck, Carol? You got me crying already? All of a sudden, I get all touched. Now, I will say this about the class of 26. There is a lot of good. It's not too hard to find the good in the class. Your academic accomplishments. Can I just yell? Can I shout? Your academic accomplishments, your post-high school plans, the multitude of championships that you've won from cross-country, football, basketball, robotics, wrestling, baseball, most recently track and field. They certainly set you apart from other classes. A lot of good to be found there. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't point out a few things. First of all, our cast of performing artists in this group. outstanding. Your final production of Mamma Mia your final production of Mamma Mia. This is nerve-wracking. It's hard. I'll jump right to the end. Congratulations. No. I will say it was a great performance. You have many great performances. That one was a culmination, I think, of all your collective years of talent put together on stage. And it actually got me out dancing when you invited everyone up to dance. And I think the last time I did that, Carol Spilak was a student performing Footloose, and they called me up on the stage to dance. So well done, class of 26. And finally, yeah, your senior prank. It was a good one. I'm going to give you that. Creative, funny. If you didn't pick up on what happened, about 5:30 in the morning, the seniors somehow filed into our living room and staged a mock slumber party. Well done. They pulled it off. I though, immediately went into principal mode and started doing a little investigation, like who could have put this together. I immediately thought of Caden Bradburn because I know his mom, and it's something she would have done as a senior. Yep. Right, Katie? Yep. Okay. And then I bumped into Curtis Bauer's dad, and he said that he slept in. And I'm like, that's a good excuse. Maybe Curtis Bauer planned this from afar, and it's something he just did. He wanted to stay far away. But then I listened to Elodie Weaver's speech, and I'm like, you know, there's some sneakiness there, all right? So I think she's the ringleader. She's the one we're going to put it on. Anyway, well done, class of 26. My wife and I, like I said, we're really impressed. It's not an open invitation to come over every year, class of 27. I'd recommend pitching a tent in Miss Henry's yard. That sounds fun. But I have to leave with some advice because it is a graduating class and this is a graduation speech. So my advice, I guess, is always sleep in your gym clothes because you never know what you'll wake up to. Now, to officially acknowledge each graduate of the class of 2026, I'd like to introduce our board president, Mrs. Shelley Kritzman.
Congratulations. Our Board of Education shall award a Whitmore Lake High School diploma to every student enrolled in this district who meets the requirements of graduation established by this board and Michigan's Department of Education. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Education, the students seated in front of us today have met all graduation's expectations. Congratulations to the class of 2026.
Daniel Patrick Birmingham, the University of Michigan. Jacob Alexander Bissonette, the University of Michigan.
Karina Ray Birchie, Michigan State University. Tyler Primo Dillman, DePaul University. Aaron Donovan. Isaac Wesley Fair, Michigan Tech University. Ellie Lynn Germain, Oakland University. Kayla Elijah Goodrich, Workforce. Piper May Hunt, Oakland University. Olivia Jo Kurtz, Baker College. Spiro Christopher Lambros, Washtenaw Community College. Isabel Therese Lewis, Washtenaw Community College. Landon Roman Livingston, Wayne State University. Michaela Marie Mangiapane, Southeastern University. Isabel Grace Pohl, Washtenaw Community College. Sophia Ray, Michigan State University. Kylie Jo Sechrist, Baylor University. Elodie Claire Weaver, Union University. Julia Catherine Zielinski, Kalamazoo College. Kira Lynn Altman, Eastern Michigan University. Owen Daniel Bachman, Oakland Community College. Emma Rose Basham, Iowa State University. Abigail Rose Bomarito, Washtenaw Community College. Hayden James Bradburn, the University of Olivet. James Robert Burns, Washtenaw Community College. Jaden Calvin Cantor, Oakland Community College. Augustin Javier Cesar, University of Olivet. Dylan Michael Kramer, Washtenaw Community College. Cadence Lauren Dyroff, Washtenaw Community College. Samantha Kathleen Medlin, Michigan State University. Evelina Janice Melvin Ortiz, Western Michigan University. Sarah Ann Mills, Washtenaw Community College. Audrey Marie Nelson, Michigan State University. Elijah Eric Ozenbaugh, Washtenaw Community College. Hunter Jose Miguel Romo, Workforce. Gina Marie St. Charles, Washtenaw Community College. Sydney Morgan Stanley, Washtenaw Community College. Kylie Ray Alexis Stoddard, Central Michigan University. Dustin Zane Strack, Washtenaw Community College. Dustin Conrad Thomas, Washtenaw Community College. Jeremiah George D. Trombley Riggs, Grand Valley State University. Victoria Ann Vanover, Washtenaw Community College. Abigail Lynn Varner, Workforce. Robert Gene Wagner, Central Michigan University. Mackenzie Ann Williams, Eastern Michigan University. Gavin Edward Yaps, Lawrence Tech University. Henry Alexander Grusa, Germany. Isabella Menegusi Vilas Boas, Brazil.
Congratulations, class of 2026. We'll have to check the live recording. I think 7 minutes had passed between the time I thanked you for not playing a prank on me and the time you began playing a prank on me. If you missed it, my cap and gown are full of ping pong balls. Love that so much. better than a sleepover. Thank you to school counselor Kathy DeKaiser for introducing our graduating seniors today and for all of her work planning last week's Decision Day celebration and today's graduation ceremony. Now it is my pleasure to bring English Language Arts and Special Education teacher Taryn Seacross to the podium to introduce one of our performers.
I have had the privilege of teaching many wonderful students throughout my years as an educator, so many of them sitting here in this room today. But teaching my own 4 children has been my greatest delight. Today, as one of the sponsors of the class of 2026, it is my honor to introduce to you my youngest child, Kylie Jo Seacrest. One thing I have never been able to teach is music. I cannot sing, truly. I can't even carry a tune. So when Kylie's 3rd grade teacher gave her a Symphony Candy Bar award because she noticed how much Kylie loved to sing, and her music teacher asked her to join the community choir because she was so talented, I looked at them both a little sideways and said, "Really?" Yes, really. And so the journey began. Music was the first surprise. In 5th grade, Kylie tried out for her first musical and was cast as the lead. And then she became a 3-sport athlete, competing in 6 seasons of volleyball, 2 seasons of basketball, and softball from middle school all the way through Friday's afternoon's heartbreaking loss. Academically, Kylie surprised us again when she declared that she wanted to outscore her siblings on the SAT and attend an elite college. Whether she won that contest is still much debated in our house, but she was accepted into Baylor University's selective theater program in Waco, Texas. But more than all of these accomplishments, Kylie's greatest achievement is being a wonderful human. From serving children at our church VBS and spending her summers serving kids at camp, to being a class officer, a student council representative, the president of the Key Club who decided she needed to donate blood in order to set a good example, and also the president of the National Honor Society. Kylie loves and serves others with intentionality and kindness. Kylie, you have left a beautiful mark on your school community, and you will be deeply missed. Robert Frost said, "Nothing gold can stay." Kylie, before you come to sing again, I challenge you to spend the rest of your life proving him wrong. Stay gold. Stay gold as you pursue your Broadway dreams. Stay gold as you remember that you are deeply loved. Stay gold as you continue to love and serve others out of the love that has first been given to you. You are my joy and honor.
And with the second introduction, please welcome high school English teacher Candy Huddleston to the podium.
Good afternoon. I'm so proud of all of you today. It's been a joy to be your teacher. And a lot of you I've had as 7th graders, so it's even more exciting to see you all grown up. Today I get the distinct privilege of introducing Ellie Germain. Traveling through Europe with high school students teaches you a lot about them. In Ellie's case, I learned she's intelligent, adaptable, observant, and capable of making people laugh in multiple countries. She is incredibly bright and accomplished, but what I'll remember most is her wit. Ellie is quietly funny in the best way. After nearly every single AP Lit class, she and Maeve would stop by and tell me a story or a joke or just update me on what was happening in 6 hours, but always very entertaining and definitely one of the bright spots of my day. I already miss them. If you had the opportunity to see her performance in Mamma Mia, you already know Ellie has great stage presence that draws people in and makes them pay attention. She brings confidence, warmth, and personality to every room she enters. Today, we're lucky to hear from her one last time in the school setting, but I'm hoping we all see more from her on stage and in a classroom near you. Thank you for helping me welcome Ellie.
And now performing For Good from the musical Wicked, please welcome senior scholars Kylie Seacrest and Ellie Germain. made a plan for myself not to cry, and I just thought about the stupid ping pong balls over and over to stay unmanned. And then I caught a glimpse of Ellie's sister Cassie crying, and then I was like, oh, I didn't make a plan for that. I wasn't ready. When other people cry, then I for sure don't know if I can do it. But thank you both for that beautiful performance. The message of For Good is a powerful one, that our lives are changed by the people that we meet along the way. As we celebrate the class of 2026 today, that seems an especially fitting farewell. Graduates, please stand. At this time, I'm honored to invite the senior class executive board to the stage to join me in officially presenting the Whitmore Lake High School class of 2026. President, Elodie Weaver. Vice President, Kylie Seacrest. Secretary, Sophia Robertson. Treasurer, Landon Livingston.
Ready? Nope. Too soon, too soon.